good evening and welcome to tonight's stream. That's right, if you can read the title, Classic GTs once again, Monday Night Classic GTs, and tonight it is from Silverstone, the historic circuit. I'm not sure of its exact age. Maybe we'll ask the guys on TeamSpeak when we join them in a moment. Qualifying is about to start, so without further ado, let's get the intro rolling.
Tips for the GT40?
Hello!
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 Hello.
Yes.
Who's in second place? Can we have a look? Oh, it is a Porsche. Henry Sundstrom from the practice timings. He's in second place. Yes, apologies viewers, I've just realised somebody commentated on the chat drivers that I muted myself, so I was happily talking to you drivers and you could all hear me, but I wasn't talking to the stream. Fortunately, I unmuted myself and realised that my amateur mistake there. A couple of different things with the stream tonight. You might notice if you joined us last week, we've got the name tags on above the cars. Now, I appreciate this does ruin immersion ever so slightly, but it makes it awfully a lot easier for me to know who I'm actually watching as the cars go around the circuit. So the server's rolled over, 40 seconds wait time, and then I think they'll be out on their qualifying laps. 15 minutes quality tonight, 40-minute race. How many laps do we think that's going to be, guys? About 25, maybe 30?
24,
25.
26.
Our fuel rate I see is slightly reduced. It's at 90%. Is that to make sure no pit stops are required regardless of which car you're driving?
Yes.
Excellent.
More for the Porsche.
More for the Porsche. Oh, silly small fuel tank Porsche. You're a GT car. You're meant to have a huge tank, surely. But yes, so slightly reduced fuel rate. So nobody should need to take a pit stop for fuel. Damage is only at 15%, so only serious accidents are likely to take people completely out of the race. Tyre wear at 100%. Right. Now there's my beautiful little car. Now tonight, well last week rather, let me start again. Last week we had a few issues where as soon as the leader crossed that finish line at the end of the race, my camera was immediately put back to the main menu, which meant any battles that were raging further down the field, it was pretty much impossible for me to get them out on the stream. So tonight, 2 or 3 laps in, there'll be a brief moment where I get my little Abarth and I drive it down here. I'm going to get that Ford. Oh no, the GT's a bit quicker than me, never mind. But we'll drive it down here and we're going to park it just off the side of the track. Because this means that when the race finishes, it doesn't instantly class me as finished, because if I'm in the pits, I'll be instantly classed as finished, so they won't be able to follow the guys around. Oh, bit of damage. I've lost the front bumper. So there'll be that little brief comic interlude, and then I'll be able to hopefully switch back to the other cars on track and show you some decent driving. So you'll have to bear with me a little bit, guys, when that happens. We'll do that lap 1 or 2, something like that. So with Henry at the moment, Henry Sundstrom, Porsche, as I say, rumour has it the Porsche is better on the brakes around the circuit. So we might see a few Porsches at the top of the field. Around, where were we last week? I've forgotten already. Was it
Monza?
It was Monza, that's right, yeah, with the banked corners. Other than that, definitely favoured the GT with its top speed. but tonight it's a little bit more balanced, so we should see some good battles between the Porsche and the GT. A couple of minutes gone of qualifying already, and we're seeing the first time start to come through. So Henry Sundström, 143.6 for him.
But
We
both
know
of us
that's an outlap indeed. We know that they can go a lot faster than that. Stick with Henry around this lap. Leaves a taller circuit. A little bit of a four-wheel drift going on there. Just keeps it off the grass. Got over on the marbles there. Losing a little momentum around Chapel Corner. Along Hanger Straight. We stow next to us. Here we are. Concrete inner barrier there. You want to keep yourself out of there if at all possible. Next corner will be Club. Quite a fast right-hander. Again, concrete barrier on the inside. Switch to in-car with Henry. Get the driver's viewpoint as he takes Abbey coming off the throttle there. Don't think he used the brakes there, but simply coming off the throttle, get the car turned in under the bridge on Farm Straight. This will take him round to the start finish line. That is where the entrance to the pit is. Again, just feathering the throttle, get the car around that corner and over for another lap. So there we go, some more consistent lap times for what we were expecting. A 136.5 for Henry. Flavio Bosga sneaks in there almost immediately with a 1:36.456 for him. Flavio in pole position. A big drift for Henry there. It was the same corner he did that last time, but he gets it round there, carrying a lot more momentum.
Hello.
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 Guys.
Hello. The guys from server 2 have just joined in. And they've taken the free slots of server 1, so now we should have a free server.
Full grid. We're making up to the full 20, Giuseppe.
Hi all.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Have you just been promoted, Steve, onto server 1?
I certainly have, yes.
Oh, fantastic stuff. Steve Kenwood, a regular from the Formula 3 events on Automobilista, for viewers that we have joining us tonight who are familiar with Formula 3 on a Wednesday. But yeah, tonight, such a popular event. We are actually running 2 servers. Quite a few late sign-outs. So a couple of the guys have been lucky enough to be promoted onto server 1. The pit capacity here at the historic Silverstone track is 20 slots. Obviously, commentator myself takes up one of those slots, so that's 19 cars, 19 drivers racing on track. So we'll have a full grid tonight. I'm not sure if there's enough drivers on server 2 to still be putting a race together, but hopefully they're going to have some fun on there as well. Yeah, looks like a lot of fun. Giuseppe, if I'm not distracting you, Giuseppe, I'm not sure if you're on a hot lap. Well, let's go and find out, Giuseppe. I was going to ask you a question, but let's go and see first of all where you are on track. My camera keys. There we go. He's out.
The farm.
I was going to ask you, Giuseppe, if you knew what next week's race was, but I don't want to distract you from your hot lap.
Yes, we will run the Barcelona Circuit de Catalunya with the moto layout. So not the ugly chicane at last, but the nice 2 fast corner. That is the fastest layout.
That indeed sounds like a really nice track, probably suited to these big, powerful cars. We're going to stick with Giuseppe. Giuseppe has just put in an excellent time, 1:35.1. And whilst I was chatting away there, Chan Yuchel has taken the lead at 1:35.112. 7 hundredths faster than Giuseppe. Giuseppe's got a big slide in front of him. He manages to avoid that with some deft control and a big drift. Oh, unfortunately, didn't know if he was going to hold that drift. It was a good try, Giuseppe. Excellent for the camera work. No problem. Sure, Simon. It was good for the camera work. An excellent slide and power drift there. You were trying to keep hold of Giuseppe. Unfortunately, didn't quite manage to. Okay, who else have we got out there? Eugene Abamoff currently in 7th place. Let's take a look at Eugene. He's in the Porsche. You can see, yes, we've got the name tags on. They're coming or appearing much further away, so we can actually see, or you guys can see who is who, hopefully a lot more easily. Thank you, Shark RD on the chat saying broadcasting looking awesome there over on Twitch, and we just had a follower. Let me just bring that up so I can see who it is. Frozzy9! Frozzy9, thank you guys. Yeah, where's the cheer for Frozzy9 for following? Woo, Frozzy9! Ah! Oh, there's two of us. They're all concentrating, guys. All concentrating. Yes, we got the name tags on, so they're appearing a lot further away. Last week, myself and Joseph Bright, who was commentating the rookie event with the Abarth, I think. We both found that it was quite hard to commentate because the standings you see on the left of your screen, viewers, has a little bit of lag to it, which means that we'd be thinking, let's, for example, usually going past Daniel Chapp, for example, that's 7th and 6th at the moment, but actually it'd be the other way round because of the lag on the standings. So yes, we've got the names on to hopefully be able to tell you what's going on more accurately. Also, we use the standings and information that you're seeing on the screen. It's something called Bcast, the letter B, Bravo Cast. A very nice app indeed, and the author of that app is, I messaged him to ask him for a few improvements, and he's been very helpful. He's regularly updated with new features. So anybody out there who likes their overlays or is thinking of streaming themselves, then I do highly recommend Bcast. ACTV is another app that's really nice as well. So we've seen a lap there with Eugene. He hasn't quite managed to improve his time, I don't think. He's still in 7th place. Eugene Abramov, 136.3 for him. Giuseppe, are your family joining you tonight?
Yeah, sorry.
No worries though. More the merrier. Somebody's enjoying Dad's driving, I think. Okay, let's see who else is out there putting in a good time. Henry Sundstrom we saw earlier, 35.4 for him. Giuseppe, 134.9 into the 34s. Now Chan Yusel up to 34.3. Flavio Bosga in 4th place at the moment. Let's switch to Simon Hodge. Simon is in 5th place at the moment with a 135.7. Not sure what car Simon is driving. That's the GT40. Very nice blue car. Orange, go faster stripe.
And I've just run out of fuel.
Oh well, indeed, that was because you were driving so quick, Simon. Not the best time to catch you on your lap. There's 5 minutes on the clock though, so Simon will probably be able to go out once more. Yusuf Machit. Yusuf, if I'm ruining your surname there, please don't hesitate to correct me if you're on TeamSpeak, Yusuf. But Yusuf is currently in 6th place. Well, I can see he's on TeamSpeak, but he's got everybody muted. I don't want to be distracting him, so he's concentrating hard on his driving. In the yellow GT is Yusuf, currently in 6th place, 34.8. He only needs another 10th, and he'll be sneaking ahead of Simon Hodge, who we just caught running out of fuel there after a few flying laps. Another 10th for Yusuf, bringing him up to 5th place. We just had another follower, Viking PSG. If you're not concentrating too hard, can we have a cheer for Viking PSG, please? Yay! Thank you, guys. Thank you. Just pulling off to the side there. See, Aki Bjorkston is in 7th place. Let's try and catch up with Aki. Yes, he's out on track. His best time at the moment, 136.1. Again in the Ford GT. Actually, we'll come back to Aki in 1 second. Let's have a quick scan through and see how the Porsche and the GTs are comparing. So we thought, there's an incident there, because we just watched Chan Yusel down the start-finish straight. There's 2 cars coming together. But Chan is in the pole position. He's in the Ford. Giuseppe also in the Ford in 2nd place. So the Ford still doing well at Silverstone. 3rd place, once again, Ford GT. 4th place, there's our first Porsche of Henry Sundstrom in 4th place. 5th place, once again, the Ford GT. Simon Hodge, who we've watched briefly, he's in 6th again with the Ford. Another Ford, Aki Bjorkston in 7th. Lassi Karkanen in 8th place. Again, the Ford GT featuring a lot at the top end of the table. Clearly the preferred choice, maybe around this circuit. Daniel Chapday's in the Porsche. He's taking a bit of a rough line around that corner there. That probably is not going to be the fastest lap for Daniel, but he is in the Porsche as well. Let's take a look at Eugene. He's a Porsche. Nicholas de Pino. I'm probably again ruining your surname, Nicholas. I know you told me last week, Nicholas. I can see he's got his mic muted. He won't be able to tell me. Nicholas is in 11th place. 12th place, Alan Ramsbottom in the Ford GT. Javi Garcia. I think I'm getting a huge amount of lag there. That's what it was. He wasn't actually doing a jump off the side of the embankment there. That was a little bit of lag that we're getting at the moment, or I'm getting rather, on the server. Hopefully that will resolve itself shortly. Javi in 13th. Ollie McGowan, 14th for him in the Porsche as well. Do hope this lag resolves itself shortly. Currently my standings is completely gone. There we go, it's come back again. Ben Aubrey in 15th place. Porsche for him. Steve Kenwood just joined the server, promoted from server 2. When I say promoted, it literally goes on the first come first serve basis. So those that sign up earliest will be on server 1. And if server 1 fills up, we run a second server. And if you're late to the sign-up sheet, you'll be on server 2. So anybody who's thinking of joining us for these Assetto Corsa events, any day of the week really, there's pretty much an event every single day, then I do recommend signing up not too early. Don't wait to the last minute, because if you do, you might not get to be on the main server. You might have to be on a secondary server. And another follower we just had, I'm just waiting for my screen to update. I heard the sound effect. It's still saying Viking PSG, which is the most recent one, who was the last follower we had. Wait for that to update, and we'll give them a shout out in a second. Martin Faber, he is in 18th place. Alirio Rego is in 19th. He's the last of our actual drivers on the server tonight. Also, yeah, PSIT saying, I think my computer's not quite up to the task. No, it's just the network lag I'm getting. I got a little ping in the top right corner. It went red when we saw the cars all disappearing there. My computer's certainly up to doing the task of encoding and streaming and all the rest of it. But for some reason, we had a little bit of network lag there. It's dropping back down again now, so it's looking all beautiful for you once more. So just 38 seconds on the clock. I'm going to switch to Yusuf. Yusuf is out on track. He's in 3rd place. He's got 6/10 to catch up if he wants to improve his position though. Headlights blazing. Clock is counting down. This will be the last flying lap for Yusuf. Can he improve on his 135.1? Now, Alan. Now, I've got a message for an Alan on the chat, so I'm guessing this must be for Alan and Ramsbottom. I'm not sure if you're listening, Alan. But message from Viking PSG. He says, tell Alan he has too much ballast in his car, and apparently you'll know what he means. So hopefully that makes sense to you. I know there are of another Alan that races sometimes, so I'm hoping it is the right Alan we've got there. But yes, that was a message from the chat there. And Lorenzo.
Basically saying it's fact.
I couldn't possibly comment. That may be what is being insinuated. I don't know. But Lorenzo Bond.
He's so going to get it when I see him.
Lorenzo's on the chat as well. He says apparently I'm suffering from a lack of drinks. Maybe not enough drinking games been going on. We had a fantastic Christmas event where there was a drinking game involved. It was jolly good fun. And maybe that's why the broadcast was lagging a little bit. I haven't smoothed the flow with a pint or two. Yes, we're being very sensible tonight. Haven't got myself a drink just yet. Okay.
What a disappointment.
Yeah. Oh, who said that? Who said that? Giuseppe? Was that you, sir? Or was that somebody else? So somebody not happy with their time? Or not happy with the fact I haven't got a drink, maybe? I don't know.
I'm not happy with the fact that you don't have a drink.
Oh, it's Daniel. Yes, indeed. I shall be getting one quite soon, but I guess we're going to roll over to the race session fairly quickly, so I shan't risk doing that now.
You have a break anyway.
Oh, is there a warm-up session or something like that? Is there?
3-minute countdown.
A 3-minute countdown. Okay,
Yes,
that's not too
there
bad.
is now a wait time of 1 minute and 2 minutes to deploy on the grid.
Okay. So, just guys, the drivers, and letting the viewers know kind of well, but also primarily the drivers. So I'm not going to risk starting from the back of the grid, as I explained earlier in the stream, and to the drivers off mic. I need to get my car out of the pits to avoid immediately being dumped back to the pits as soon as the leader wins the race. But I won't risk starting at the back of the grid, because otherwise, if I don't get my car out of the way in time, you'll all come screaming around the track and find a little car sat in the way, which may not be too good for the race. I don't want to risk that. So we will start from the pits, which means it's really difficult with Assetto Corsa with the camera work to catch the very early moments of the race, because I can't go out on track until the last dying seconds, literally just before the flag goes green. So, as I say, hopefully we won't mess that camera work up too much. But as soon as we got it settled down a little bit, lap 2 or 3, we will move our car out of the pits. There'll probably need to be some comedy music in the background, but I haven't got anything set up as we just drive our little Abarth down the pit lane and out onto the grass at the side. So we've got 1 minute 30 left on the clock. Does it go straight to race, guys, when that goes to 0, or pretty much, or is there another countdown after that? I can't remember from last week. Anybody know?
The lights start at 15 seconds.
At 15 seconds. I think that's when, if I click drive, it'll take me to the pits, or at least I'm hoping it does. We will see.
Giuseppe, how much is a fuel tank of fuel affecting the tire pressures?
7.
Well, that's getting advanced, that is.
So whilst we're waiting, let's have a quick look at the leaders there. So a front row lineup is all Ford GTs, all in nice distinctive colours. It's going to help me recognise. Let's move a little bit further back. The second row, that is 2 GTs and a Porsche. Who's in the Porsche? That's Henry Sundstrup in 4th place, the first of our Porsche. And the row behind, 1 GT and 2 Porsches. So it's going to be interesting, I think, battle up front with the GTs fighting hard. Henry Sundstrom getting in the mix with his Porsche as well. Midfield going to be a real mix of Porsches and GTs battling away, so it'll be interesting to see. Right, the clock is just counting down. I'm hoping it's going to stick me into the pits.
Good luck,
Good luck, everybody.
Good luck, everyone.
Good luck, everyone. Good luck.
Good luck.
Still can't risk going out on now.
Good luck, guys.
The lights are on. There we go. Okay, we can now rapidly try and get the camera on to the leader. There we go. External cam. We just caught the start. Chanyatel off the line. Giuseppe Iaria getting a good start in the middle, but Yusuf on the inside, screaming down in his yellow GT. It's going to be a battle, I think, for the first one between Chanyatel and Yusuf. Chanyatel takes the lead. First for Chanyatel after we make it around the first corner. Somebody's off in the background there. We'll try and catch who that is. That's Henry Sundstrom. Unfortunately, he was in 4th place. He's rapidly going down the field, I think, unless my leaderboard has not updated properly, but I think it was Henry who was moving down the field rapidly off the track. Chanyatel then got a comfortable gap now over between himself and Yusuf in 2nd place. Simon Hodge up to 3rd. A great start to Simon Hodge. See him closing in on the back
Sorry, Ben.
of Yusuf there. That's how close these two guys are. A better line there for Simon Hodge. Yusuf trying to hold on to it around the outside line, having not got the car turned in maybe as much as he wanted to. We're now on the rear wing of Yusuf. You can see Simon there having a little look on the inside. Much better start to this race than it was at Monza. Many more incidents than Monza, but it seems to be a much cleaner start here on Assetto Corsa at Silverstone today. Let's switch to Henry Sundstrom. I was wrong. I gave incorrect information. The leaderboard was not accurate. I think Henry... Oh no, leaderboard's gone all over the place now. Peter Marker rather in 4th place. I was about to say Henry Sundstrom hadn't gone off early on, but it's now updated again. Henry is down to 10th place from the 4th place qualifying position. So Henry clearly involved in some sort of incident early on. He's working his way up though, 10th place at the moment. Let's take a look at actually Henry, because he is battling with Alirio Orego in 9th place. He takes that position, I think. Yes, he's managed to find a gap. Can he hold it on the inside line? Somebody going off in front of him. But he's Henry Sundstrom has picked up one position. And well, a second with that car going off. But he's got past Alirio Rego. And he's now in 8th place. Aki Bjorkston just ahead. This is definitely a close battle. Let's switch to Aki. Get the rearward facing camera. There we go. Somebody just asking on the chat, how about disabling names on top of the cars? I really need that on the cars to see who's actually driving. I know it destroys the simulation a little bit, but the left-hand standings are not accurate enough for me to be able to commentate without the names on, because the orders don't update quickly enough. So I'm afraid we're going to have to keep the names on the cars for the moment. Apologies for that if it's not to your liking. Some people may prefer it to find it easier to follow. Others may prefer the beautiful graphics of Assetto Corsa uninterrupted. Ollie McGowan there going off. That was a battle further down the field. Ollie McGowan ended up in the embankment there, but he's got it back round and back out on track. To give you an indication as to the colour coding of that standings, I say it's not always 100% accurate, but anything in yellow is meant to indicate a close battle. So we'll switch to third place Peter Marco. You can see there's a gap at front and behind, but 13th place Nicholas, he is side by side with Alan Ramsbottom, and that's why he's highlighted in yellow to indicate to me and to you the viewers that there's a battle going on there. Nicholas in the Porsche going round the outside of Alan Ramsbottom. Does he make that stick? Yes, he does. That was a nice overtake there from Nicholas, up into 11th place now for Nicholas. Okay, we'll let the field settle down a little bit more, and then we will take my little bath. Oh, a big sideways twitch from Nicholas. Can he control it? He is struggling like mad. That's a huge shame for Nicholas. And unfortunately, Alan Ramsbottom was left with very little space to go. The tail wagging of the Porsche, and Alan clipped it amidships, I guess. Damage is set to low, and Alan has not gone off track significantly because of that. Nicholas unfortunately losing a place or two. It's a big shame for Nicholas, but pleased to see that it didn't impact on Alan Ramsbottom, hopefully, too much. We hope that the damage to his car is minimal. So we're picking up now with Alan Ramsbottom. He's in 12th place. Just had that little bit of contact there with Nicholas when his Porsche got sideways. Let's switch now to 10th place, Eugene Abramov. Eugene battling hard with Lassi Karkanen. That's a battle for 9th and 10th. Not sure. Oh, there's a sideways Simon Hodge on the apex there. That's dangerous for drivers. He's managed to get it out of the way. Well done, Simon. Really difficult position to be in there. He's managed to get it out of the way. Most drivers, I think, making it through the Ali Rio, not having the best of luck. He didn't manage to get round that corner. So it's a 40-minute race. 6 minutes gone so far. Daniel Trapp in 17th place.
Yeah, the drive-through.
Oh yeah, the drive-through penalty. It's a shame. That will have probably been caused by a jump start. Any slight movement on the grid will mean that you are given a jump start and a drive-through penalty. But Daniel's having a nice old battle with Alirio Rego. Alirio having a little bit bad luck at the start, but he's still having a great race, which is what it's all about. It's nice to win. It's nice to get the high positions. But if you go round the race for 40 minutes having great battles with people, it's still an incredibly enjoyable event. I'm going to go back to the leader, Chan Yuchel. He's pulled out quite a nice gap over Giuseppe Aria. Giuseppe in 2nd place, 9 seconds behind Chan Yuchel.
Yusuf went outside just now. I am behind him.
Okay, yes, thank you very much. Yeah, Yusuf and Giuseppe battling hard now. Side by side, Giuseppe's got second place, but Yusuf is close behind. So this is why, guys, you need the names on top of the cards. You can see that Yusuf is still being shown in second place, yet quite clearly Giuseppe had second. It's only just updated now, so it's 5 or 6 seconds lag on the standings there, and that's why we've got to have the names on top of the cars. Otherwise, my commentary goes all wrong. Yusuf has got to be careful because Peter Marco waggling the tail of the GT there just behind. We're going to switch to the back of Yusuf's car because he's got Peter Marco really pressing hard. Steve Kenwood is trying to close that gap. Steve Kenwood is about 4 seconds behind. Once again, Peter pushing the absolute limits of the track, getting 2 wheels there on the grass on the exit out of that corner. We'll have to watch for the dirt pickup there. A very smooth line for Yusuf, and the loss of momentum that Peter experienced, having gone slightly wide on the previous corner, has left allowed a little gap to open up between the two. But Yusuf doesn't look like he got the best line through there, but he managed to get it turned in. Let's see if Peter Marco can close that gap up. Hogging that inside concrete barrier there. Hey guys, anybody on TeamSpeak, if you're in a good battle, if you're going side by side, probably don't hesitate to call it out. I do have the standings, but there is a 3 or 4 second lag at least in the standings, which means that sometimes I don't pick up the battle until the overtake has already happened. So feel free to call them out, and we'll switch that camera to you as quickly as we can and entertain our viewers as best we can. Now, at some point, we had another follower. Ben Utzer followed us at some point. If you're not concentrating too hard, can we have a cheer for Ben Utzer? Yeah. Woo! Thank you, Ben. Thank you. We're still watching Yusuf and Peter Marco battling hard. Just 3 tenths separating the two at the moment. Once again, Peter Marco using his skill to control that GT40, a 4-wheel drift there in the background. I'm not sure who that is, but somebody in the background, possibly Steve Kenwood in the Porsche, just going into the dirt. Steve Kenwood making a massive gains from his starting position. Steve, if you're listening, where did you qualify? I'm pretty sure it wasn't in 5th place. 12th, so a good few places picked up for Steve Kenwood. Up into 5th place as it stands at the moment. I think he might be currently the fastest Porsche. Pretty sure first 4 places are GTs, so Steve Kenwood bringing home the first Porsche at the moment. But things have settled down ever so slightly, viewers. So we're going to go back to my little Abarth, and we're going to very rapidly just drive it to the end of the track. Comedy music cue now, please. I think we need something like Benny Hill in the background. This is the most exciting point of the race, you know, guys. Enjoy it.
I hope you can control the power.
I'm struggling, actually. I'm struggling. Let's see if we can keep out the hay bales. Ah! Oh, we did. Okay, let's park that up. Stop the silliness. Thank you. And we'll quickly switch back to Chanduchel now. I'm hoping that I'm far enough off the track there that the guys will not be experiencing any yellow flags. You will see the blue flag in the corner. That is because I am receiving the blue flag, so it will not be the car that we're watching. It's me that's receiving the blue flag there. Alan, your mic is just constantly broadcasting there if you are able to adjust it. Thank you very much, Alan. That's perfect. Thank you, sir. Yes, so Chanduchel in the lead. 6 laps gone. About 10 seconds ahead of Giuseppe. And we're going to switch a little bit further down the field. Let's see if we can find some action. Now, Yusuf has dropped a few places. I'm not sure what happened between Yusuf and Peter Marco. Yusuf and Peter were having a good battle for 3rd place, but he is now down to 5th place as Yusuf. Steve Kenwood up into 4th. I'm assuming a little bit of a track detour for Yusuf has cost him a few places. We have another follower, Graf Laugenkotz. Graf Laugenkotz, thank you very much for following. A cheer, please, if you can. Woo! Graf Laugenkotz. Thank you very much, guys. Henry Sunstone
the
in
old
6th place.
farm corner is fantastic.
Is it enjoyable? Are you in the GT, Giuseppe?
That's the farm corner of the old Silverstone. It's
Isn't it?
the left-hand corner.
Yeah.
Before the boot cut. That's
Very enjoyable, is it?
yeah, fantastic.
Well, let's take a lap with Giuseppe. Let's get that in-car view as well, so we can enjoy it ourselves. So we'll just wait to get round.
This
Around
one.
club. Oh, we're on club at the moment. So this one is club corner. Is it you kind of kick the back end out as you come out of the corner? Is it just a really nice turn in?
A little lift off, then
A little lift off. The car turns in on the power. Hopefully, getting that four-wheel drift going and powering it through the corner. The Giuseppe
and
there.
the wood cut here is also very nice because it opens, then tighten.
You see that taking
and
a
it's all
wide.
about controlling.
Joining the power as you go through the corner. Yeah, taking a wide line on the start of that corner, and as it tightens up, Giuseppe bringing that car into the apex. A little bit of action there from the back of his car. You can see him just providing a little bit of opposite lock just to keep that car in check. That's Giuseppe in second place. We're going to move back to Yusuf. Now Yusuf, I say, must have had some sort of off-track moment. He's in 5th place at the moment, but he is closing up on the Porsche of Steve Kenwood. In fact, maybe the better angle will be the rear wing of the Porsche. So the Porsche appears to have two wings that seem to be controlled, or sometimes they seem to be affected by steering inputs. Is that correct, guys? I'm sure I saw that on one of the races I was watching. Do the wings change on one side compared to the other on the Porsche?
It's on suspension load.
Ah, okay.
So when the car is dead, on the suspension on one side, it lifts the wing.
Ah, okay. So yes, they're meant to try and level the car out by providing different amounts of downforce, I assume, depending on the angle of or the amount of compression on one side of the car compared to the other. But we can see that
If you want to know something, ask Eugene. It's our Wikipedia.
our expert of all
Of
things
cars,
motorsport.
yes.
Excellent stuff. Well, as I say, Steve Kenwood there in the Porsche, he's got Yusuf closing in about, well, certainly under a second there. Steve putting in some consistent times, but Yusuf still trying to claw back that gap. Yusuf lost a place or two. We didn't see the off-track moment, but we can only assume that something happened to lose 2 places. He was battling with Steve Marco in 3rd place. And the next time we looked, he was back to 5th, but he's pushing hard as the yellow GT definitely gets a bit lively around the corner there. Steve pushing hard, runs a little bit wide. This is going to mean that Yusuf can close that gap down the straight. Right for this straight. And under braking, that Porsche looking really good. Sorry, the GT rather looking really good. The GT of Yusuf closing up under the braking there. Around the maggots we go. And we have just 24 minutes, or just over 24 minutes left on the clock. Approaching the halfway point, there'll be no pit stops, or certainly no pit stops will be required tonight. The tyres of these GT cars last reasonably well, and the fuel usage levels have been set low enough to avoid any need for pit stopping for fuel. We're going to quickly switch to Daniel Trapp, if we can get the car right. Try that again. There we go. Daniel Trapp in the Porsche. He is well, the timing splits. Yes, he's side by side with Alan Ramsbottom. As I was going to say, he's racing Alan, and we can see they were side by side through that sequence of corners there onto the hangar straight. Daniel now trying to get into the slipstream of Alan Ramsbottom. Let's try and get that rear wing. There we go. We can see Daniel closing up under braking. On the back end, kicking out. He controls the drifts. Can he keep it off the grass? Only just 2 wheels on the grass. That was excellent car control there. Daniel getting the back end of that Porsche moving under braking and allowed him to turn in really nicely, but then he had to control that drift as he went through the corner. Lovely bit of car control there from Daniel. Now we're going to switch back to Steve Kenwood and Yusuf. We switched to C1 battle, and meanwhile Yusuf has managed to make his way past Steve Kenwood. Steve in that slipstream though as they head towards Maggots. Slightly defensive line for Yusuf could give the better corner speed for Steve Kenwood close behind. Steve's in that slipstream, I think. Round to Chapel they go. There's the rear wing of Yusuf. Steve definitely in the slipstream, but maybe the power of the GT just allowing Yusuf to open up that gap despite Steve being in the slipstream. We're just seeing on the chat that one of the drivers has been given a black flag. I'm not sure who that was, but they've decided to come and join us on watching the stream anyway. Possibly you did a jump start. Your name on the stream is Laspal. Let's switch to the trackside camera. Steve Kenwood makes his way past Yusuf due to a mistake from Yusuf, so that fight for 4th place continues, and once again the drivers swap places. But sorry, yes, Laspal, you're just saying you got a black flag, so you come to watch us on the stream. Maybe you got a jump start. You'll have a certain time limit, a certain number of laps. I'm imagining 2 laps, yes, to serve that drive-through penalty. And if you don't serve it, then unfortunately you will get black flagged and disqualified. Another follower, Ruby Gloria. Thank you very much for following. A cheer for Ruby. Thank you, Ruby. Woo!
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, a bit of an off-track moment there for Steve Kenwood. Could this be an opportunity for Yusuf to make his way past? I think he has done already. Yes, Yusuf makes his way past, and he's back up into 4th place. And we have a donation. Thank you very much, and generous, and very much appreciated, Graf Laugen, for your donation. Thank you very much, sir. A rare occurrence, but very much appreciated whenever it does happen. We're going to switch back to Daniel Trapp then and say he's having a real good battle further down that field with Alan Ramsbottom. We caught those two battling and changing, or trying to change places earlier on, and we've been switching between that and the battle with Steve Kenwood and Yusuf. Daniel's running ever so slightly wide. Again, the Porsches and the GTs really having a good fight tonight. At Monza, the GTs really did have the advantage in pure raw power. But tonight seems to be a little bit more even. I would get myself a drink, guys. Everybody telling me to go get a drink on the stream, but unfortunately my fridge is fairly bare, which means I'll have to go and make myself a gin and tonic or something like that, which means I'll be off mic for too long and you won't be listening to my lovely soft tones for all that time. I wouldn't want you to deprive you of that, so I might get myself a cup of tea in a little while. We'll see. We're just hitting that halfway point. 40-minute race, 20 minutes now on the clock as we watch Daniel Trapp and Alan Ramsbottom going around club there. They are nose to tail, just 2 tenths separating the two drivers. I think it's about time we switch to the rear wing of Alan, given that Daniel Trapp is so close. Once again, the power of the GT down Farm Straight really showing, despite Daniel being, well, he would be in the slipstream, but he's taking a different line, so he won't be really benefiting. But my word, the speed through the corner, you can see that Porsche really doing a great job of turning in. Looks like Daniel's going to have to calculate very carefully to try and find a way past Alan. Oh my, right at the break, a little bit of contact. That is hugely unfortunate. An apology there for Daniel, certainly not intended. Oh, the guy's trying to rejoin as carefully as they can. Alan retakes the place. And very unfortunate, because that was a great looking battle. And Daniel manages to get his car back out on track, I'm sure, in a moment, facing the right. Yes, there he goes. Big shame for Alan, but hopefully those guys will be battling against again quite soon. Okay, let's switch to camo. Who is in the closest battle? Aki Bjorkston. Let's see what's going on with Aki. Get the camera working again. Bear with me. There we go. Trackside cam. There's Aki Bjorkston. He's got Ollie McGowan just a second behind. Again, this is another battle between a GT and a Porsche. Oh no, that's a shame for Martin Faber in the background, just disappearing off the track. Hopefully he will sustain a minimal damage.
Alan, your mic is bleeding through.
Alan managed to get his mic sorted once more. So yeah, Aki Bjorkston and Ollie McGowan. This is a battle for 9th place, battle for the top 10 finish. About a second separating the two drivers at the moment. Now, we haven't mentioned the viewer count a single time, guys, which is most unusual for me. I'm going to quickly actually switch to Flavio, because Flavio is in having a good battle with a Eugene Abramov, just half a second separating the two. Try and get a better camera angle. Switch to the rear wing. We can of Eugene. I can get the right camera. Oh, we missed it. One click too far. There we go. Rear wing of Eugene looking back at Flavio Bosga. Eugene in the Porsche who we're riding with. Flavio in the GT. Eugene runs wide. This is going to allow Flavio maybe to gain as they go down that straight, farm straight they're on at the moment. Flavio using a good bit of control around the fast corner that leads on to start finish straight. Definitely gained a significant amount of momentum down the start finish straight. Eugene taking a defensive line. Flavio getting a big twitch on. He controls it. That was a heart racing moment for Flavio. Close up so nicely on the back of Eugene and nearly throws it away as they head towards Maggots. The gap opening off. That mistake by Flavio giving Eugene a small advantage. We can see the GT of the Ford GT having a bit of a speed and a straight line advantage. The Porsche does seem to corner better. I guess that's why we've got a fairly even match tonight between the GTs and the Fords. But it does make it hard for the Porsche to actually overtake, because it's easiest to overtake on the straights, obviously. And if you're lacking in a few horsepower, it makes it very difficult to actually find a way past, even though you might be having a quicker lap time. Very nice corner from both these drivers again. Flavio pushing as hard as he can to try and close that gap. Under a second, hovering around the 7 to 8 tenths mark at the moment. A little bit of understeer followed by oversteer for Flavio, we can see. Now, keeping an eye on those split times, Ollie McGowan still looks like he's having a great battle with Aki Bjorkston. That's the battle for 9th and 10th. It's hovering around a second, but this, as it stands, is the closest battle on track. Switching to the trackside cam as they head down that start-finish straight. Eugene taking a defensive line into Copse. Flavio on the outside. He's going to carry a lot more speed through. A little bit of a wiggle though for Flavio means that Eugene will hold on to it for another few corners, I think. Now Henry Sundstrom, he's in the Porsche as well. He is not that far down the track. Just 5 seconds, give or take. Just 2 seconds rather, between Eugene and Henry. 194 million viewers are watching us at the moment. Enjoying you guys racing out there. Still 16 drivers out on circuit, all of them on the lead lap. Oh, big jiff for Eugene. Can he hold it? He's on the grass. It's going to be risky. There's a he misses the concrete wall. And he manages to keep it off out of anything that can damage his car too much. That's a shame. Those two drivers having a great battle. He loses just a single place rather. But he's back out on track. So unfortunately there for Eugene. I'm going to switch now back to Daniel Trapp. He's featuring quite a lot in tonight's stream, but Daniel is once again closing up on Alan Ramsbottom. Drivers came together. It's unfortunate, certainly nothing untoward intended, but a bit of contact between Alan and Daniel sent both drivers off the track. Alan came back out ahead of Daniel as he should do. And now Daniel has managed to catch back up, and this battle will ensue once again, down to just a second between the two. Daniel pushing hard, trying to make up time. Daniel, if you're not concentrating too hard, where did you qualify, sir?
I have no clue.
You can't remember. No problem concentrating hard in his driving. Do try not to give commentator curse too much to the guys when they're on camera. That's a very nice pan across the trackside cam as they come around Woodcote. Gap hovering around the half-second mark now. Back end of Daniel's car kicking out there, but he controls it nicely. That gives him a good exit speed there as he controls the power of the Porsche. Let's switch to the rear wing, I think, of Alan Ramsbottom's car. Or if I can get the right key. There we go. What do you think, guys who are watching? Am I doing better tonight? Last week I remember lots of poor commentary where I didn't know who was who because we didn't have the names on the cars, and the camera work was maybe not quite as well, I wouldn't go as far as to say that it's professional tonight, but it's maybe less amateurish, should I say. Only a few mistakes going on.
It was your debut, so...
Indeed, I'm allowed to make a few more mistakes, but now we've got that skill a little bit more. As Daniel Chap has really, I was just trying to work out whether Daniel's still on track. He disappeared we're watching from the rear wing of Alan's car, and Daniel's Porsche got so sideways it looked like he might be heading it onto the green stuff, but he just managed to get that car pointing in the right direction before the end of the corner. It was a breathtaking moment there. A huge amount of momentum carried through that corner from Daniel Chap. A slight nudge, but neither of the cars is affected too badly from it, and Daniel Chap carries that speed through, and he's up into 12th place rather, taking that position off Alan Ramsbottom. Alan trying really hard to carry the momentum through the next corner. That's a real unfortunate for Alan Ramsbottom. Damage is set to low. He hasn't lost a lot of time there. Hopefully his car will be able to continue. It looks like that's the case. A good battle for those two there. We're going to switch now. As I say, I've been keeping an eye on the split times between Ollie McGowan and Aki Bjorkston. This is just 1 second between the two. Aki Bjorkston in the GT, the Porsche of Ollie McGowan, screaming down towards Stowe. Gets to turn in. Now Ollie's car's looking a little bit battered, but we know he ended up pretty much halfway up the embankment early on in the race, and he's having a good fight through the field. Gap now down to just 0.6. Let's change the camera now to Aki. As Ollie McGowan starts to appear large in his mirrors. Another follower. Thank you very much, Hostile02, for following this evening. A cheer, gentlemen, if you can manage it. Hostile, thank you very much.
Yeah!
Aki Bjorkston carrying a little bit more speed through the last few corners, which has meant Ollie has dropped back ever so slightly, and under braking. A big twitch for Ollie. Kept it under control, just about. Kept the car in check, and that gap now opened up a little bit more to a second, and on these long straights as they come through maggots and break down towards brackets, the GT has the advantage. But on the brakes though, Ollie McGowan seems to closed up quite significantly. It was mentioned in the practice by a few of the Porsche, or a few of the drivers, not sure if they were Porsche drivers or not, but the Porsche did seem to be very good under brakes, and that does seem to be showing in the race tonight. Another follower. Who have we got tonight? Island Hitman. Thank you, Island Hitman. Woo! Island Hitman.
Go.
Thank you. Now, these GTs are certainly a handful, as Aki Bjorkston is demonstrating. He just, my word, just keeps that car in check. That was a gift to Ollie McGowan. A nice, easy overtake for him. But it was very nice to see Aki Bjorkston keep that car just on the black stuff as he goes around the corner. The power of that GT kicking that back out. Sometimes you have to make the decision, do you keep that right foot planted and try and control the power around the corner, or do you lift? But the weight transfer from lifting can sometimes accentuate the oversteer that you're experiencing. Experience and practice is the only way to know how to handle that when it happens. Let's switch back further up the field, and we have given Chan Yuchel much screen time. He's in the lead. He is being pretty dominant at the moment. 14 seconds the gap over between him and second place is Giuseppe Iaria. In fact, Chan just coming up to the back of Alan Ramsbottom. So Alan will be getting the blue flag shortly. I say ignore the blue flag that you're seeing on your screens, guys. That is for my car that is currently parked off track somewhere. Every time a car goes past me, I am given the blue flag. I have to be out on track for me to be able to get all the trackside cameras working. 4th place, Peter Marco still seems to be having a good attack on Yusuf. 2 seconds is where the gap is hovering. Trying to see if we can get... yeah, there's the yellow, distinctive yellow GT of Yusuf. Another follower, they're coming in thick and fast. Las Palapio, thank you very much for following this evening. A cheer, guys, if you could manage it for Las Palapio. Woo!
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yay.
Oh, we had another follower. We had 2 in close succession. GTV Colossus also followed. So we need another cheer. GTV, thank you very much for following this evening. Woo! Woo! Guys, these GTs are obviously quite hard to handle. They're concentrating very hard. The cheers coming in only on occasion. The last thing we want is these guys to end up crashing as they're cheering one of your follows. Let's switch to in-car with Peter Marco if we can. That's the driver's viewpoint. He's trying to get each corner just right. I think you can see he's experiencing a little bit of understeer as he turns in. A touch of oversteer as he gets on the power as he comes out. Trying to close up the gap between him and Yusuf. Peter in the GT. Here, that V8. I recall just under 5 litres. Ridiculous size of engine, but these are classic GTs. We're coming into the last 5 minutes now. 5 minutes and 50 seconds on the clock. Martin Faber looks to be having a battle further down the field. Let's quickly switch to Martin Faber. Yes, he's made his way past Nicholas. That's 2 Porsches battling there. They've got Giuseppe in 2nd place coming up to them. So this battle, it's a good way back as Giuseppe. They don't do anything yet, but they'll need to be aware that they'll be getting the blue flag quite soon, as they're intent on having that battle with each other.
Yes, in any way, Can usually is too far away, but in a very nice pace. So
yeah, you can relax and just make it home for the last 4 minutes, Giuseppe. Yeah,
this 5 minutes.
And you get careful, Giuseppe. I'm hoping that's lag because you've disappeared off the side of the track, sir. Oh, he's back on track. Phew, we see Giuseppe. It was just a dot in the background. Too much relaxing. Yeah, don't forget the turn, sir. Yeah, Giuseppe had the perfect viewpoint for this battle for lower down the field. This is a battle for 13th place, I think. No, sorry, 14th place. This is Nicolas De Pino in 15th and Martin Faber in 14th, both in the Porsches. Nicholas seemed to get a better run through that corner, carrying a little bit more speed. His car writhing around. Switch to the trackside camera as they head down Hangar Straight. Nicholas searching for that slipstream. Martin taking a defensive line. Nicholas will get the better run through. He's gone past. In fact, Nicholas is now up into, but he's gone too wide. And Martin almost follows him off as well. But Martin will hold on to the position as I think Nicholas is off track there. He's just joined back in. Carried a lot of speed through, but not able to get the car around the corner. That's a shame. Let's switch to 9th place, Ollie McGowan. He's side by side with Eugene Abamov. The battle for 8th place, side by side around Cops. A big twitch from Ollie. He keeps it under control. Ollie and Eugene having various battles on several occasions during this 40-minute race. Eugene holding on to 8th place at the moment. But they've got Aki Bjorkston in the GT, the 4 GT, not far behind. As these guys battle hard, Aki Bjorkston is taking the opportunity to close that gap down. 3 drivers within a 1.4 seconds of each other. Let's switch to Eugene's rear wing. Ollie McGowan a little bit back now. And Peter Marco up in 5th place is having a battle. We're going to switch to that battle between Steve Kenwood and Peter Marco, if I get the camera right. Well, there we go. Yes, sorry, Steve Kenwood in the Porsche, Peter Marco in the GT. Head down Farm Straight. Steve Kenwood's going to have the inside line. Peter Marco might be able to carry more speed because he's got the better line through the corner. We know the GT's got the horses down the straight. Steve Kenwood running a little bit wider, lost a bit of momentum, but he's still holding on to the place only just to come to the braking zone. Heavy braking for Steve. He's trying very hard to keep that, get that speed wiped off the Porsche. Peter Marco doing a good job of avoiding any contact between the two. Exciting stuff in these closing minutes. Just 2 minutes now left on the clock. Battle for 4th and 5th between Steve Kenwood and Peter Marco. Steve Kenwood currently in 4th place. Aki Bjorkston, I can see his name going yellow briefly there. That's 10th place. Aki Bjorkston closing up to Ollie McGowan. And Ollie McGowan is only a second behind Eugene Abramov. We'll stick with this battle for 4th place as it stands at the moment, but I'm keeping a close eye on those split times to try and see if we can catch that battle further down the field as well. Now just 1.5 minutes on the clock as Peter and Steve head round Copse. Okay, we're going to switch to Aki Bjorksson, I think. In fact, just as I said that, I saw Steve running wide. Yes, he does. Peter Marco has made his way past Steve Kenwood, was running ever so slightly wide, lost that momentum, and Peter Marco able to capitalise. So let's switch to Aki Bjorkston. His name's in yellow. He's side by side with Ollie McGowan. Turning into club. A little bit of rub between the two cars. Can they hold it together? They do. Aki Bjorkston and Ollie McGowan just keeping control of the cars as they scream down the straight. Still side by side, but they seem to have sorted out that fight there. As they come to the end of Farm Straight, Aki Bjorkston up into 9th. Eugene has taken the opportunity to put a few laps together, and he's pulled out a little bit of a gap. This was a three-way battle between Eugene, Aki and Ollie. The fight between Aki and Ollie has allowed Eugene to get that gap. The clock is just 20 seconds left. There you can see Eugene in the distance, Ollie McGowan pushing as hard as he can. And Yavi Garcia in 11th place. It is a three-way battle because that is now a battle between Aki Bjorkston, Ollie McGowan and Yavi Garcia. Steve Kenwood's name's just gone yellow. Switch back to Steve Kenwood. He's closed back onto the back of Peter Marco. There's the rear wing of Peter looking back at Steve Kenwood. The Ford GT just pulling out a little bit of a gap down the straight, but my word, that Porsche is good under the brakes. Last laps, thank you very much, guys. Warning of the last gap. Leader is on a final lap. Several battles going on throughout the field at the moment. Peter Marco, Steve Kenwood, just half a second separating those two. Aki Bjorkston, Ollie McGowan, that's 9th and 10th. Just a second splitting those two. Yavi Garcia was getting close to that, but his split time seems to be further down. And Steve Kenwood makes his way onto the grass. That's unfortunate for Steve Kenwood. We'll switch then to Ollie McGowan, trying to chase down the back of Aki Bjorkston. Should see the leader coming to the victory quite soon. He's heading around Abbey. Commanding a win for Chan Yuchel. Down Farm Straight under the bridge into the braking zone for Woodcut. Here he comes to the start finish line. Chan Yuchel wins this 40-minute race. Oh, am I a bit... I think I'm premature, gentlemen. I think I'm early. I am early. Oh,
No, race is over.
oh, it is over. I expected it to flash up on the screen, but it hasn't done. So, Chan Yuchel, apologies, viewers. Chan Yuchel has won that this 40-minute race from Silverstone. Giuseppe Iaria just coming round to the start-finish line. He will bring home 2nd place. We're going to switch to 5th place, though. Steve Kenwood and Peter Marco. That battle is still raging for 4th and 5th. Just 8 tenths separate the two as they head round Abbey. Steve pushing as hard as he can. will be hoping to catch up to the back of Steve Kenwood and Daniel Trapp. His name's gone yellow. Let's switch to Daniel Trapp because he is having a battle for 12th
I
place.
think we're not even fighting anymore. The race is over.
Oh, the race is over for everybody, is it?
I think
Yes.
so.
Does it always end instantly as soon as the leader crosses the line? Is that how it works on Assetto Corsa? Or have I
Yes,
just...
there are two options to make another lap when the time is reached, or just as the leader crossed the line.
The positions are
as
fixed
the-
at that
as
point?
the times, yes.
Okay.
It is, he's in his final lap, and as he crossed the line, the race is over.
Okay. So whatever position you're in when the leader crosses a line is the position is your finishing position. You don't have to race around to the start-finish line again.
You have to cross the line, but there is not another lap then.
Oh, not, but you're still racing for the remainder of that lap. Is that correct?
Yes, of course.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Yeah. Getting thoroughly confused there. Celebration weaves there from Steve Kenwood.
Yeah, it did. Great congratulations to Can Yusul. Great pace, very nice.
Indeed,
Very
indeed,
fast.
it was. So my
I had an
confusion.
unlucky start and
I'm sorry, I talked over you there. My confusion at the end of that race there hopefully didn't spoil it too much for you guys. Yes, a great race for many drivers there. Did you enjoy it, guys? Was it good fun?
Fantastic.
Brilliant.
amazing fun.
Yeah, that one.
The only thing I would request is next one having bright sunshine. Dull overcast is a bit of a bugger in VR.
Oh, you racing with full VR headset, are you, Steve?
Yeah,
Oh, lucky man indeed. What version of VR have you got?
that's with the Rift.
I've got the Rift. Very nice indeed. That must be a pleasure on Assetto Corsa. Here were some various good battles there. Let's go through the final finishings, hopefully before the server rolls over. Chanyu Chel brings home the win in first place. Giuseppe Arare brings home second. Yusuf Machit in the third. Peter Marco fourth. Various battles between Peter and Steve Kenwood in the VR system for fourth and fifth. Henry Sundstrom in sixth place. Flavio Bosga in seventh. He had a few good battles during the race as well. Eugene in 8th, he fought hard with Aki Bjorkson in 9th, and Ollie McGowan getting involved in that scrap as well. Ollie bringing home 10th. 11th place was Daniel Trapp, and 12th place was Alan Ramsbottom. Now, anybody who's left the server already doesn't appear in the list, I believe, so I can't name check any of the others. But I'd also like to thank our viewers for watching. We finished with 180 million people watching. Lots of messages going on in the chat. It has been a pleasure to watch these guys. I'm hoping you drivers have enjoyed the race. I'm hoping you viewers have watched it. How should we round off tonight's event? Last week, or it's almost becoming a theme, we have to say goodbye in a foreign language. So, anybody want to suggest how we say good night or goodbye to our viewers this evening? Any ideas? We've done au revoir. We've done gute Nacht. Any other options? So my languages are very poor, so I can't offer any advice myself.
yeah, I could only
I'll
offer
second
German. I think.
Arrivederci as well as one I actually know.
Say that again, Steve. Sorry.
I said I'll second Arrivederci as well.
Arrivederci. Okay, let's go with
Not a good
Arrivederci.
night. Buonanotte.
Oh, Buonanotte. That's better. Buonanotte. Go on then, guys, all together.
Buonanotte.
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 Buonanotte. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and a good night.
Thank you, Jim. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thanks and bye.
Yeah, thank you.